That way they won't cry.
I think we're all here. I'd like to call the work session meeting to order. On November 12th, 2020, from approximately 6 to 8:15 p.m., we had an executive session meeting to talk about contract and personnel issues. This evening, we were in executive session from 6 p.m. to approximately 8 p.m. on litigation, safety and security. And with that, if there's no objections, I will place the minutes of the previous meeting on the agenda. Hearing none, if there's no objections, I will place the treasurer's report on the agenda. Hearing none, I would place the payment of the general and federal fund bills on the agenda also. Superintendent Bradley, Mrs. Grinnell's not here this evening. Could you give me copies of the Johnson control bills? They total almost $11,000, and I'm curious of what those are.
Yes, I can get you copies of that. And Mrs. Grinnell is participating virtually. Yes, I can get those.
Okay, I got to know that. Thank you.
That's good. Yep, thank you.
I'd like to place the payment of the capital reserve fund bills if there's no question or objections. Also, payment of the cafeteria fund bills if there are no objections or questions. With that, we have a presentation set this evening. Mr. Brooks?
President Matic, members of the school board, last time I was here, I gave you good news about our trap shooting team that we won the state title in the spring, and to be quite honest with you, I thought it was going to be about a good year and a half of rebuilding, but here tonight and proud to say that your team has won the Pennsylvania State High School Play League trap shooting championship. First place team, we just got the results yesterday, so I was pretty proud, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. Do have some other good news that I want to report. We had our best season ever. Out of all 4 years that we've done this, we've never had a season like this. We had Leon Mallory finished high overall in the state, first place. Evan Means finished second place, and Aiden Marco finished third place. Owen Kinnear actually finished fourth place. There was only 4 targets missed between those four kids, so it was a very, very tight competition. In the conference 4 that we were in, Leon Mallory, obviously, Aiden Means and Aiden Marco finished for first, second, and third in the male division. And then we had a girl, Arabelle Ryan, finished first place girl in the conference. We were in this spring we started a skeet shooting team, and we did okay, but I'm proud to say that our team finished second place in the national conference. We did not have any first and second, third place winners, but Owen Kinnear finished 9th place, and John Mattis finished 10th place respectively. And our team, with all their other scores combined, finished second place, which was pretty awesome against all these teams from all across the United States. We did add another discipline this year. We had 2 more disciplines this year. Our kids did one other one. Leon Mallory finished third place in sporting plays nationally. So that was pretty awesome. And there was only 2 birds that he missed, or he would have been in second place. So that was pretty cool. We had some great numbers this year. We had 31 boys and girls shooting 3 disciplines, and that was a record number for a fall. Usually we're around 60, but we dropped last year, I think, to about 25, so we were up to 31, which was pretty cool. And we had 5 boys five boys shoot 50 straight, which is pretty awesome. And we had 21 kids shoot 25 straight targets, which was pretty awesome too. And it was like I said, it was a great season. We just got the results yesterday, and I wanted to let you guys know. But thank you for your continued support for letting us have this program. That's all I got.
Mr. Brooks, how many team members do you have?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How many team members do you have?
Last year we had 61, so we'll definitely have 60. Right now we've got a waiting list of probably about 15 or 20. In the spring, when we lost 15 kids, and I thought we were going to be in a rebuilding year it worked out really well for us. But we're filled next year, and like I said, we have another 15 kids on the waiting list. So if we had a bigger facility, we could take more kids, but it's just right now it's just tight with 60 kids. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, that's great. Good job. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks, Coach, I wanted to applaud, and if you could share, please, the efforts that you've taken to make sure we're safe in this COVID world that we're living in. I know that you have done a lot in your leagues that you participate in and your competitors, making sure that the scores are all virtual. And if you could comment on that, I think that the community would appreciate that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The beautiful part about it is, anybody knows anything about trap shooting or skeet shooting, that we can socially distance very, very, very easily. In fact, even under normal circumstances, we social distance. We've made sure that the kids have wear masks. If there's any we don't share any equipment as far as guns, but we do have a couple of club guns that are shared between a couple of younger kids who are just growing, and they've been wiped down after every time they've been shooting. And skeet shooting, same way, and sporting plays, same way. Everybody comes to the club. They remain in their cars until it's their time to shoot. When it's their time to shoot, 5 minutes prior to that, they'll come to the line. They'll shoot their rounds, and they'll get their scores, and then get back in their cars and go home. Nobody hangs around anymore. There's a lot of social gatherings before COVID, but now we just send them right home. So it's been good. The parents have really cooperated. Our parents are great. We've had some fantastic success with everything, and nobody's done anything wrong or even remotely. But it's been real good. So thank you very much. Any other questions?
Honor system, you submit your scores to other teams.
Yeah, we do. That's the way it works out. Typically what goes on is in the fall league, it's all virtual. We submit the scores, and then they're tabulated by the nationals, and results are posted. That's the way this fall league has worked out. So it's worked out really well. That's been done the whole way across the country, and the nice part about it is we've continued to have this sport because we can do such things like this. There's no contact with anybody. Thank you very much.
One more request. Would you hand me those 2 pieces of paper? Okay, we have no items for public comment. Moving to athletics, please.
Thank you, Mr. Matic. We have a request for approval of the following 2021 spring supplemental contracts contingent upon receipt of a signed contract no later than 1 month after issuance, including the posting of the contingency is not met as proposed. And I'd like to have that posted on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Okay. Spring equipment bids, request approval to advertise for spring sports supplies and equipment. I'd like to have that placed on the agenda for next Tuesday.
We'll have that placed on the agenda.
And volunteer coaches, request approval of the following volunteer coaches for the 2021 school year, and that would be in high school wrestling. I'd like to have that placed on the agenda.
And we'll place that on the agenda.
And accept the resignation of the junior high wrestling coach effective immediately. And I'd like to have that placed on the agenda for Tuesday.
And we'll place that on the agenda.
And that's all we have, Mr. Romanek. Mr. Lake, do you have anything additional? Mr. Evans? That's all we have.
Thank you. Moving to buildings and grounds, please.
Request approval of deed of easement between Bullskin Township, Collinsville Township Joint Sewer Authority and the Collinsville Area School District for tax parcel identification number 05-01-0010 near Falcon Drive. No question or objection, would like this placed on the agenda.
Place that on the agenda.
Next, request approval of following substitute custodians for the 2020-2021 school year. No questions or objections, would like to have this added.
Place that on the agenda.
Next, request approval of following utilization request in accordance with policy number 707. Falcon Foundation's request to use the Collins CTC culinary classroom for filming of the Hall of Fame presentation December 2nd, 2021 p.m. to 3 p.m. No questions or objections, would like to have this added.
We'll place that on the agenda.
And lastly, request approval additional COVID PPP supplies. We need 17 55-gallon drums of cleaner for sprayers, total cost of $23,842.90. No questions or objections, would like to have this added.
And we'll place that on the agenda.
Mr. Mortrey, you have anything else? Mr. Kirsch? That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you. Carnegie Free Library, Mr. Horstman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. I have nothing. Mr. Martucci? Mr. Panzelli? Mr. Bernardo, do you have anything? We have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Moving to Collinsville Area Career and Technical Center, Mr. Lake.
Mr. O'Malley. Mr. Martucci, you have anything? Mr. Montiel? Nothing. Mr. James?
No, I'm seeing.
You have nothing to do, thank you.
Thank you. Moving to curriculum, please.
Thank you. We had a committee meeting on November 17th at 5:30. It was participated either in person or virtually. And I'll have a brief review of what some of the agenda items were tomorrow night. Mr. Montiel, anything further? Dr. Pimp, anything to add? That's all we have on the curriculum.
Thank you. Move to cyber, please.
And the cyber, we haven't had a meeting, so I have nothing new to report, other than I've had no complaints from anyone on the program. It's flying through. And I will have numbers to share with the board and the public tomorrow. Mr. Harshman, do you have anything to add?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Montiel?
Nothing.
Dr. Stern, Mr. Coates? That's all we have, Mr. Matt. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to federal programs, Mr. Martucci.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Request approval of the agreement between Intermediate Unit 1 and the Collinsville Area School District to manage the Governor's Emergency Education Relief gear funds for non-public services in accordance with the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES Act, ending September 30th, 2022, contingent upon approval of the gear's funding sources. With no questions or objections, I'd like that placed on tomorrow night's agenda.
Hearing none, we'll place that on the agenda.
And we had a committee meeting held November 17th at 5 p.m. And that's all I have. Mr. Martrey. Dr. Coons? That's all, Mr. Matic, thank you.
Thank you. Finance, Mr. Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have nothing except for the approval of some budget transfers. Mr. Grinaldo, do you have anything?
Nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Panzella? And Mrs. Grinnell will be here all Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Food service, Mr. Marquis.
Thank you, Mr. Matic. We have no agenda items at this time. Mr. Panzella, do you have anything to add? Mr. Harshman?
Nothing, thank you.
And that's all, thank you.
Thank you. Moving to personnel review liaison, Mr. Monroe.
Thank you. We have several items for Wednesday. Item A, request the approval to hire a personal student aide effective November 24th, 2020. With no objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
Hearing none, we'll place that on the agenda.
Item B, request the approval for a teacher to take a child care leave of absence for the second semester of the 2020-21 school year and and I'd like to place that on.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item C, request the approval to hire a long-term substitute special education teacher for the Springfield Clifford Fritz Elementary for the second semester of the 2020 and 2021 school year. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item D, request the approval to hire a long-term business education substitute teacher for the remainder of the 2021 school year, effective October 30th, 2020. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item E, request the approval for a teacher to take a leave of absence beginning February 15th, 2021 until on or about May 3rd, 2021. Without objections, I'd like to place that on the agenda.
And we'll place that on the agenda.
Item F, request the approval for a clerk to take a leave of absence beginning November 16th through 20 and on or about December 31st, 2020. And without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item G, request the approval to accept the retirement of a custodian effective February 21st, 2021. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item H, request the approval of a teacher to take a child care leave of absence effective January 11th, 2021 for the remainder of the 2020-21 school year. Without objections, I'd like that placed on you.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item I, request the approval of the following additions to the professional substitute list for the 2020-21 school year. One's a nurse and two are emergency subs. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item J, request the approval to accept the retirement of the secretary effective December 31st, 2020. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item K, request the approval to accept the resignation of a support professional effective December 31st, 2020. Without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
And we'll place that on the agenda.
Mr. Bernardo, do you have any?
Nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Martray? Mrs. Coconut? Did I miss one? No, I don't have an item, no.
Oh, let's see. One Joe gave us.
Item L, request approval of the following addition to the support professional substitute list. Is that the one you're referring to? For the 2021 school year. And without objections, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
And we'll place that on the agenda also.
And that's all we got, sir.
Thank you. Moving to policy and legislative, Mr. Parson.
Thank you, Mr. Amatic. Additional policies, first reading, October 28, 2020. Request approval of the following revised policy, first reading, October 28, 2020. Number 103, discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting students. Discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff. Policy 103, 104, discrimination. Policy 103, 104, attachment 1, report from docs. 103, 104, attachment 3, Title IX, procedures. 103, description, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting students. Discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff. Item B, I'd like to include all those for tomorrow night's meeting.
Okay, we'll place all those on the agenda.
That's all I have, Mr. Lake. Mr. Bernardo. Mr. Bradley. That's all we have, thank you.
Thank you. Moving to safety and security, please.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. We have nothing at this time. Mr. Martucci, anything additional right now? Mr. Carlack, do you have anything? We had a virtual meeting on November 23rd at 8 o'clock. That's all we have.
Thank you. Staying with you, special ed, please.
This evening, our committee meeting was held on November 9th at 1 o'clock. Mr. Lake, do you have anything additional? Mr. Martucci? Mr. D'Amico? That's all we have, Mr. Madden.
Thank you. Student services, Mr. Mongeau, please.
Thank you. Item A, request the approval of the 2020 and 2021 English language learners participation form for instruction hours at an estimated cost of $102,604. And without objection, I'd like that placed on the agenda.
We'll place that on the agenda.
Item C, we had a committee meeting that was held on November the 9th at 2 p.m. And that's all we had. Mr. Lake, do you have any? Nothing, thank you. Mr. D'Amico?
Okay, thank you. Moving to technology, Mr. Panzel.
I have nothing. Thank you. Mr. Carter?
Nothing, thank you.
Ronaldo? Joe? Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Transportation, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Request approval of the following additional drivers for the 2021 school year. And no objections, I'll get placed on the agenda.
We'll place those on the agenda.
Mr. Manzella, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Mr. Hartman?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Evans? That's all we have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Moving to President's report. Request approval to submit the Section 520.1 emergency instructional time schedule to the Pennsylvania Department of Education for the 2020-2021 school year. And if there are no objections, I will place that on the agenda. Superintendent Bradley, you will explain that to us tomorrow night.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yep. And I know some board members don't have electronic, they don't get the electronic version. If you can make some copies, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have no items for public comment. Dr. Coons, do you have anything further to add this evening. Mrs. Grinnell, if you can hear me, do you have anything to add? Doesn't sound like it, Superintendent.
I yield my time to Mr. Brooks and his outstanding recount of what our students did with his trap team. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we will close the work session. Tomorrow we'll talk about holding our reorganization meeting, which is scheduled for, I believe, the 2nd of December. So with that, we will adjourn. See everybody tomorrow. Thank you.